Hi, how's everybody doing today? This is Sean. I'm back here today's Sunday. Last time I played was Friday night. I recorded me hitting some strokes, and I did a response video to Intuitive Tennis. Nick, he was talking about the slice serve and the flat serve, how when it bounces on the ground, how it looks similar, because you can't really just hit a flat serve where it's perfectly flat and the ball not going to react on the court with some kind of spin on it. He's right about that. So I've been playing tennis. I started playing tennis when I was about 16 years old, and then I got really good at it, and I was surfing a lot too, so I was physically fit. And I played sports my whole entire life. As a little kid, I played baseball, I played soccer, I played all that stuff. And then in 97 and 98, I started having problems with my hip, both my hips. So I was playing in a tournament. Well, the last tournament I played in was the Daytona Beach Shores Light Up Your Shores, and there was doubles. I played doubles and I played singles. The first year I won the doubles, and then I came in first place in singles too, and it was the opens. So there was a variety of different players, and that was on hard true. And then in 98, just before my hip replacement, I could barely walk. I was having a lot of problems. I came in second place in doubles and second place in singles. It was pretty cool. You know, I always like playing in competition, meeting different people and stuff. So I hadn't played tennis since 98. So about 10 months ago, I had another channel called just Sean Sweeney, and it's a true channel, and I was exposing the economical terrorism that we're in, and everybody's involved in it. And I started getting emails about people that had health conditions, and I'm like, well, I got health conditions too. I was diagnosed with diabetes too, just this year, and I didn't know I had it last year, so I probably had it too last year. And I had cramps in my legs, and real painful, sharp pains in my feet and in my toes and stuff like that. So I told my friend Stefan that I was going to start a tennis channel, playing tennis at 50. So 10 months later, I'm still doing it, and I'm getting better, from just playing and stuff. And then a few months ago, I saved up and got a tennis ball machine. And then I also saved up and got my car, which is an old, it's 2006 Chevy HHR or whatever they're called. But it's perfect for me. God made it to where I can get a car that's perfect for me to fit my tennis gear and stuff. And God's blessed me in a lot of ways. So I never thought that people would be interested in my channel, because I was just going to record myself playing anyway. So right now I'm at 72 subscribers, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate that you guys take the time to watch my videos, to make comments, and to try to help me get better. It's because my main purpose is to try to play in a tournament this summer, and to gauge myself to see how good I'm doing. But when I came back from tennis, I had a question. I'll start leaving my emails on the videos, but I had a question. What was the first thing? What was the thing that I had to practice on the most? To get back into tennis. Like, what was one of the main things that I was having problems with when I first started playing tennis again? And obviously timing. That's one thing. And I was 240 pounds, and I just weighed myself yesterday, so I'm 185. So my main goal was to get down to 155. That's what I played at. I played at pretty good tennis at 155 pounds. I was 5'7", but I shrunk, so I'm even shorter than I was before. That happens with age, I guess. I'm 52, and I'll be 53 in December. My birthday's December 22nd. So the main thing that I was having problems with was my serve. Obviously, I throw it up the same way that I thought I was doing it before, and I'm trying to lay into it, and balls are coming off the frame. I'm using like 7 or 8 different rackets, going to the Goodwill and buying different rackets, and I had old profiles that I had in my my bag, but they were so, the strings on them were so dead and stuff like that. So I had them restrung, and then I started playing with them, and then my friends were saying you need to get a more modern racket. So I like the Babolat. I've always liked these rackets. So I got a 110 Babolat Pure drive, and it's got a woofer system in it. So that's the thing. 4 or 5 days a week I come out here and practice my serve, as I started doing 11 months ago, or 10 months, going on 10 months. So that's the thing that I had to redo. And I'm kind of glad that I stopped playing tennis for a little while, because I'm like relearning everything. And then when I was playing, there was no internet like there is now, where you could just pick up your phone and find out how to hit a kick serve, or find out how to hit a slice serve. The way I had to learn how to do it is there was a VCR, we taped matches, and then I'd watch Agassi or one of my favorite players on how they served and how they hit the ball, so then I would try to emulate their style. And then not knowing that really it's your footwork and how to position yourself to get to the ball, because Crew Sells did a really good video on that, on footwork, and his footwork is really good. The only problem I see with him, when he's trying to make a comeback, is that he needs to, practice with people that have big serves, so he can get back into the timing of getting those big serves back, and just get a little faster, because some of the shots he's hitting are just amazing shots, and they would be winners on anybody else, but he's playing players that are younger than him and fast, so he has to get faster. The same with me or anybody else. But my serve was one of my problems, which I always had a good serve. And when I was playing a lot, I never double faulted. Like, I hardly ever double faulted in matches or practice or any of that. But with learning new spins and, adjusting your hand and hitting through it and the toss and it's windy and stuff, you're going to make mistakes, and I don't mind that. I don't mind missing the ball long. I just don't like hitting the tape. I think that's just a waste of, emotion or whatever. So I come out here, I record these, record myself trying to hit these targets. And then I play Monday through Friday, but I don't know if the people would let me record them, because, they may not want to be on video or whatever, which I think would be cool, because a lot of them are older, and I think they can inspire a lot of people, just by, showing people that you can play tennis at any age and enjoy it. Because there are a lot of fun people. Like, they don't take it serious if you miss a shot. Like my friend Ken I was telling you about, we have a lot of fun. We laugh and have fun. Like, I ripped a couple serves to him that I thought were really good, and then all of a sudden I'm coming into the net and I get his Western forehand ripping it right by me, real casual, like, and he's just smiling, and I'm like, I know, dude, I fed it right to you. And he's like, oh, Sean, I like returning your serve, and I'm like, oh, thanks, So I was like, we're gonna have to figure out something not to serve it to your forehand like that, But it's all in fun, So I made a video of me hitting the ball and how I used to hit the ball. That was how I played, a little faster. So I start my videos off by explaining things, what I'm trying to do, and then I'll work, on the shots. So if you guys don't want to hear what I have to say at the beginning, you can always skip to it. But I'm older, so I'm trying to, explain things, what I'm going through. Because there's days I don't even feel like getting out of bed. I'm depressed because I didn't get that much sleep the night before. And I'll come out here and just push myself. Because what I try to explain to people is, I've had friends of mine addicted to drugs. I've lost a few of my friends addicted to drugs over the years. And what happens is, I've seen this in a lot of professional athletes. When you play sports, you have a natural adrenaline that goes through your body, and that adrenaline is addictive. It's like, it's good. It's a good addiction. It makes your body heal itself. It gives you a natural adrenaline. And what happens is, when people stop getting that feeling, they'll try to replace it with something else, like alcohol or drugs, which is just not even close to the same adrenaline that you do from playing sports. That's why I discourage people from drinking alcohol or doing drugs, because it's false feeling. It's not legit. It's fake. It's giving you things that you could do naturally just by walking, or you just got to get your heart rate up to a certain rate for that adrenaline to kick in. So that's what happened to me. I couldn't play tennis or sports anymore, so I started getting depressed, and I didn't know what it was, and just till recently, last year, I figured it out. As I was getting better at playing tennis, I felt more adrenaline and more natural things. But when I was younger, I was a cook and a chef, and people would buy you drinks after work, and you'd start drinking and feeling good and stuff, and it was a temporary thing that to replace the tennis, replace the feelings I felt from playing sports. And I caught that, at an early age. I never let myself get that deep involved in it. But I know people my age, they're still doing that stuff. They're still drinking, and they do pills and things like that. But I never was involved in that shit either. Even when I had my hip replaced, I didn't get myself tied up in that too much. Like I just took my medicine the way I was supposed to take it, and stopped taking it when they told me not to take it anymore. But I do know how people feel. Like I know how it is to be depressed from not being able to move around, and because I was in a wheelchair at one point, and I had to, and I love fishing too, by the way. So where I lived at in Willow by the Sea, I could take my wheelchair and walk behind it and put my fishing gear in there, and I would go fishing and catch snook and stuff like that, and then it'd give me something to do, and just put my fishing gear and use the wheelchair as a gadget to carry my stuff. And then after a while, after I didn't need it anymore, me and my friends took the wheelchair and we were going down the hills and stuff. It was kind of crazy. But my one friend was like, I wonder, because they were using skateboards and I hadn't skated in a while, so I started skateboarding. And I was in my mid 30s, close to 40 or whatever. And I got down using the wheelchair to go down there, and it was giving me adrenaline. But as I said, last year I figured it out. That's what happens. And I seen a guy that played hockey, and he was an enforcer, and he stopped playing hockey, and then he got addicted to oxycodones or Lortabs, one of the two, because all the injuries the man had received. Every part of his body was broken at one point: his toes, his feet, nose, cheekbones, hands, wrists, fingers, all that shit. So he was talking about how he missed playing hockey and stuff, and I was like, dude, I bet it's the natural adrenaline that goes through sports, and that's why these fellas got these addictions, and ladies too. So I try to stay away from that, and I made this channel to help other people, and that's why I do this, because I'm gonna record myself anyway practicing, so we can all come together as a community and help each other, because that's what's going on in the world right now. When I was growing up, and communities were tight together, people helped each other out. If somebody was short on a bill, your neighbor would borrow you some money. If somebody was short on some food, your neighbor would help you out. And that's called close communities, and those communities have been destroyed. And it's up to us to rebuild them, and has nothing to do with color or race or anything like that. It has something to do with that, as you as a human being looking out for other people. So that's why I'm doing this channel too, to let people know, even though we're in a tennis community, you can still help each other. And a kind word to somebody can make a difference, And I see a lot of people getting mad when they're playing doubles in tournaments, or just having fun, just out here with nothing on the line, on video. I've seen a couple guys, they get mad and throwing a racket, blaming their partner and stuff. You should have made that volley. Well, maybe you should have hit it better in return serve, and not put your partner in a bad way on short balls. They don't want to take responsibility for their actions, and that's what happens. You have to take responsibility for your own action in tennis. You're the reason why you're missing a shot. Nobody else is hitting the ball, it's you. So if you got a bad attitude and a bad way of looking at life and a bad way of looking at tennis, you're not going to get any better, because you're going to always blame other people for your mistakes. I've made bad mistakes in tennis. I've hit shitty lobs, and my partner's standing there saying a prayer that his head don't get taken off, that's part of it. It's part of being an adult. What we have here in the world today is we have people that were raised by adult alcoholics, and we have an adult alcoholic child mind people that act like children, and they're in their 50s, 60s, and 70s and stuff. The baby boomers are a prime example of that. So, you can't blame other people for what you're going through, because, that's, you have your own life to live. You have your own decisions to make. Whatever decisions you make in life, that is going to carry on to how your life is going to turn out, just because you don't have a big house or a nice car or whatever, that's also some people are trust fund people. I know people that I grew up with, their parents passed away and left them shit tons of money, and they don't have no responsibilities. So you don't be envious of people. You don't try to put people down, and you just do your best at what we're doing. And that's why I make these videos, and that's why I talk before I start playing, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. Because you see all these videos out there, and they say, well, how can I be a 5-0 player, and I want to be a 4-5 player, and if you do this, this, and that, you can do that, That's not necessarily the truth, okay? Some of these people you're watching on videos, especially from Essential Tennis, some of them guys have been playing tennis since they've been kids, 10, 11-year-old kids, and then in their 30s, so they've already been playing tennis for 20 years. Of course they can hit wicked one-handed backhand shots or big old forehands and, double big serves and stuff, because they've been playing the game since they've been a little kid. It'd be like me taking those guys from Essential Tennis and taking them out surfing and give them a surfboard and say, hey, buddy, if you just do this, this, and that, you'll be able to surf like Tom Curran or Kelly Slater. And that's not the case, because they haven't no clue even how to even paddle out or duck dive under the wave. It's the same thing. Some people don't even know how to hold a tennis racket yet. So, and it discourages them, because they're like, well, if that person looks like that and they can play like this, then I should be able to do that. Yeah, you can be able to play like that, but you got to put time in, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to put some time in, and I do this little mini thing. You start off with this little box to warm up, because you don't want to start coming out here cracking serves as hard as you can. You'll definitely hurt your arm and stuff. And these are light rackets too. So let's get to this, because I got a lot to do today. I'm going to hit off the tennis ball machine, practice my volley. Then I'm going to set the machine up and practice ground strokes. So we're going to get to this today. And as I said, even if you come within, within the range of this, of these cones, that serve is more than likely good enough to get an ace or run through the air. Practice hitting through it, just like that, a couple times on each side until you feel loosened up, And I'm hitting in against the wind. The wind's blowing towards me. That ball's got a little bounce, you see? Try another one. And of course, I'm not throwing the toss up as high as I did. But, alright, then I just bring the basket back here and try to go at it now, because I'm loosened up. And we'll try to hit the cones, okay? I'm going to try slice serves. I'm going to try spin serves. I'm having problems with hitting a good kick serve size of this racket, so I've been using different varieties of it. I'm going to try to get one of these cones, my friend. Almost. You see how close it is, even though I missed the cone? That's a flat serve with just a little slice on it. Almost got that one. We'll try a slice now. Well, don't hit the toss if you don't like the way it feels. That's all. Almost. That literally bounced in front of the damn cone. But as you see, what I'm saying is, even though that I missed not hitting the cone, it's right in the vicinity of where I want to put the ball. Because I have some friends of mine say, well, I don't think about where I want to serve the ball. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, oh, the guy's teeing off on my serve. I'm like, well, you're serving it right to their forehand, or you're feeding them the shot. So think about where you want to put the ball. And like I said, I'm not even stepping into it yet. Try a flat one. Got a lot of wind, my friend. I just kind of wait for the wind to blow by a little bit, and then give it a break, and then try to make it a little wide. Almost. More on that side, and then we'll go over here. little looser, I can start hitting it with a little more pace. As long. These balls are flat as a pancake. Take a little bit off of the ball, hit it the same way, but kind of slice it. Kind of slice the ball. Stand that shit. Hitting the teeth, man. Let's get to it. Well, it's getting really cloudy. Hopefully it doesn't rain right now. That ball had a curve on it. Nice slice serve. Try over here now. I'll try the same thing out wide. Really funky, man. Almost. Very long. Right in front of the cone. I tried down the middle of the key. Keep the baskets out of the way too, because if you're swinging, you know, with a big swing, it doesn't hit the basket. You gotta practice. myself, but you know, I just talk to myself and try to encourage myself because I know when I'm playing, I'm a lot more accurate than I'm practicing for some reason. That was off the frame. Almost. Bounce the one in front of that stupid cone. I'm gonna try out here. This is another good strategy too when you're playing doubles to serve out wide. You bring it down here. Try one more over there. Pushing the cones over. And you just keep practicing, you know, escape the balls, the cones you hit, you set them. I mean, you can see what, you know, if you can play in this type of wind where it's blowing the cones out of position, and you're having, at least I got one of them, because I have to admit, my cross is kind of floating around with the wind like that. And as I said, if you can play in these conditions where it's windy and you can get the ball in the box, you're ahead of most people, because that's another thing, a lot of these people that you're seeing on TV or on video, they're playing indoors, okay? They're not having to deal with 100-degree heat out here. They don't have to deal with wind. So when they end up coming out and playing against somebody like MEP, they go to Georgia and play that fella, and they're out there on courts that are 100 degrees and the wind blowing everywhere. It's a lot different than playing indoors. So I actually like playing outside. I played indoors a few times, and thank God they outlawed carpet. I've never been a fan of AstroTurf or carpet. I've seen a lot of people get hurt, ripping their knees up, their feet getting stuck in the carpet when they're running for balls. So I'm glad that they actually play, they're playing indoors on proper surface that's not going to hurt them. Because when I was growing up, like I said, most of the indoor courts had carpet on it, and it was brutal. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, the sound of it and everything, but just take into consideration the people that you're watching, the kind of stuff that they're doing, and where are they playing at, So you're down in Florida, because I seen this fella Jeff Cohen. He made a comment on my video saying I was doing pretty good, and I appreciate that. But he practices outside in southern Florida, which is even hotter where I'm at, because I literally on the East Coast. I'm about 20 minutes from the beach. That's why I say, any of my subscribers, anybody who ever want to meet up, I'll show you around, man. If you like fishing, you like good, seafood and stuff, I'll show you all the places. It's all within 10, 15 minute driving, and there's lots of tennis courts. But I come out here and there's nobody out here during the day, because they play in the morning, or they'll play late at night, 7 or 8 at night. There's like 20 about 15 to 20 guys come out. They're Asian fellas, and they practice off the ball machine, and they're learning how to play tennis. And one of the guys is, you know, they hit a few balls over, so I was talking to them, and I gave it back the balls, and I was like, you guys are doing great. And they're like, oh, we just started playing and, you know, learning English and stuff, and they're doing great, you know. So, you know, maybe I'll hit with them one time, because I recorded myself playing against them or whatever. But so I'm saying you meet a variety of different people. But also, my point is that a lot of these videos you see of these fellas playing, it is indoors. There's no natural environment that they have to deal with. So you just saw the cones just fly across the court, just like that. So even when you're hitting off the ball machine, or you're playing, playing against somebody, you may go set up to hit a ball that's right there, and the wind will push it, so you have to react to it too. That's why timing is important, and also, you know, your footwork. So that's what we're going to work on next. So I got some serves in it. I'm going to readjust the cones a little bit. Then I'm going to work on the volleys, because I do everything. Like I practice every stroke: overheads, volleys, touch volleys, you know, ground strokes, all that. To get better, you have to practice the things that you don't want to do. Like, I don't really like coming out here and hitting serves. It's kind of boring to me, but I make a fun, you know, I make a game out of it by setting up the cones and obviously recording and showing you guys that. And even though I only hit one cone, most of my serves were in the box. I mean, there were some long ones though. I have to, you know, always put the box. Most of the cones are right in here, you know. So, you know, I'm not doing too bad. There's a few things I'm going to work on fundamentally. Wow, fundamentally on my, you know, on the toss. And then when I'm trying to hit like kick serves and stuff like that, which I haven't really been doing that well at, but I've been doing pretty good on in between a slice and I guess a top spin serve, because I developed, I just made a you know, kind of my own serve by doing that. When I was playing on clay, I kind of use like a slice and a little top spin. It's just not hitting it on the side, I'm kind of hitting it on top of the ball. That makes sense? And then it will bounce and slice out. It may not bounce up high, but it'll slice out wide, and it gives me enough time to set up for the return, you know? So thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate your time. I don't want to tie up any more of your time by me fetching these balls, so I'm gonna make another video, but this is a short one to show you, you know, this is the kind of stuff when you're practicing, you have to deal with the environment. And as I say, we may be fighting over the rain. It's hard to say here in Florida. I mean, it could rain on one side of the street and the other side be dry. It's wild. I've seen some crazy stuff. The only thing that I don't mess around with is lightning, because I got steel plates in my, and I got 2 replaced hips that are steel, and I got a plate in my shoulder here. See, it's right there. I snapped my humerus and they put a plate in here. And then when I was a little kid, I used to be left-handed, and some ass ran a red light when I was about 10 and smashed my hand. I had to get it reconstructed, so I learned how to play sports right-handed, and that's why I can bat left-handed and, you know, play some. I can actually hit a little bit left-handed, but I had to learn how to do the thing right-handed. So everything happens for a reason, folks, and you gotta take the good with the bad. So that's what we're doing, and I appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, I start my videos off, sometimes I talk about what's going on, and then that way, because I've had a few people text me and tell me that they're, you know, on my emails, that they're not wanting to live and stuff, and I tell them they have to talk to somebody about that, because that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Problems are temporarily, they're not permanent. So for every problem there's a solution, and at that time you may not understand it or see it, and it may be overwhelming, but nothing's too big for God, because God loves you and so do I, and don't ever forget that. No matter what anybody says, tries to put you down, anything like that, just know that Jesus Christ loves you, and I love you too, and I don't want nothing to happen to you. So I want the best for everybody. I want everybody to have nice things. I want everybody to have a nice life, and I want everybody to love each other and not have problems. So that's my idea of a perfect world. So thanks for watching, and if you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. And if you see some things I need to improve on, I'm more, you know, I'm happy that you would take the time out of your life to make suggestions to me. Thank you.